All praises to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakar Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect to the nation of Israel. And this is going to be a lesson on how this society, right? I was going to say something else, but as I'm thinking about it now, I'm going to say it a different way. This society is like a trap for men that have understanding, man. And originally I was gonna, about like 20 seconds ago, I was gonna say this society is a trap or is a vexation for real men. What men of understanding are real men, right? And the men that truly have understanding are men that Yahweh is guiding because they are his elect, right? And this society is ultimately, it's just it's a snare unto us, man, because all the things that we know that the laws of Yahweh say we can do, right? We're not allowed to do them. And this goes beyond the multiple wives thing. That's only one part, right? We're not even able to properly keep the Passover, right? And somebody might say, oh, who's stopping you? Your only thing stopping you is that you ain't rich enough to get a lamb. If somebody saw you in this world doing the Passover the true way, they'd think that you're doing witchcraft. But then here's the thing that shows how hypocritical this world is, because they don't have a problem with people doing actual witchcraft in this world. They don't have a problem with actual things that are witchcraft in this world and actual things that are pagan rituals, like Christmas, for example, like Easter, the way how they keep it anyway, like celebrating their birthday. People that are into that whole left-hand energy thing, they say that the top day in that left-hand energy is celebrating your birthday. That's known that they say that. Yet people will have a birthday and then they'll have a birthday weekend. Some of them will have a birthday week. When how can you have been born over a whole week? How can you have been born over a whole week and you're born one day, man? And then any time afterwards, when that same date comes around, that's not really your birthday, man. It can be used to show, okay, a year's gone by since you was born that time again, but it's not really your birthday. The birthday is the exact day you was born, and that can be used to measure how old you are now. But it's not something that's supposed to be celebrated, right? This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, and this society is not our rest, man. And the more I'm starting to be down here, the more I'm starting to realize that this place is just a vexation to anybody that knows what we're supposed to be living like, man. The way we're supposed to be living versus the way that we are right now. We're supposed to be really, if we choose to, fenced off from the rest of the world. We ain't supposed to step outside, like the moment you step outside your house, people that you don't know or that you actually don't like, you see them. It's like straight away, as soon as from the first moment you step outside your house. And then the way how this society is designed is that even if you are rich, you still might be around that kind of thing. You still might end up being around that kind of thing, and they'll just stack loads of people on top of each other in apartment buildings and charge them like hundreds of thousands, if not millions of pounds. That's definitely a big thing in London. That's huge over there. They'll charge you £1,000 for a room. And now that would have been like 10 years ago that it would have been £1,000 for a room. So there's some of them rooms now might be 2,000 a room. £2,000 to live in a room with 3 other strangers that are also renting a room in the same house, when really somewhere else, that same house, that £2,000 would have made you be able to live in the whole house. And then people, some of them will think that they're doing good because they'll be like, oh, but the people down the street are paying £3,000 a room. This society is not righteous for anybody that has understanding, man. Like, we understand that pretty much every single thing that we're doing in this world, right, is off. If a man's poor, right, he's not supposed to just stay poor for the rest of his life. He's supposed to be able to go to one of his own people and build himself up. And after 7 years now, he's going to be able to build up himself. But in this world, a man can work 7 years for a place and be worse off. A man can work 20 years for a place and not have moved up or down once and just be chasing his tail. But then, like, this what, like, let me break down, man, what this world actually makes people think is a good life. Go to work, yeah. Get a car on finance, right? That's maybe the best car in your neighborhood, a car on finance, or one of a bit nice. Get a car on finance, right? You might have a house that doesn't even have a driveway, yeah? And you're parking on public roads or whatever. So then the parking's scrambling, best survival of the fittest parking and that, right? Then, okay, if you get a mortgage, you're going to be paying that off for like the next 40 years. And then by the time you finish paying it off, you've really bought that house at least 2 to 3 times. And then the house, you've been living in it the whole time anyway. So it's not like after the house is paid, it's anything special. You've got a lump sum of money now that you can go into and do this and do that with. You've got something that you can leave behind to your children. But the children might not necessarily value that house the same way you did, because you know that you had to work for 40 years for that. But they are just going to take that and squander it. And then the next descendant of your family is going to have to do the same thing again later on. And then you can go on a holiday like once a week. Once a year, Like that's what this society seems to be, man. And that's why it's going to be easier for people that really don't like this place to not take the charagma, to not take the Motb. Let's carry on reading verse 10. Because it is polluted, this world's polluted. Because even if you get more money, you're only going to end up around other people in this society that have been able to find some way to get success in this world. And we all know that to be successful in this world, you have to be wicked. So the more money you get, and then you be like, okay, I'm going to move around the area that's a bit nicer now, where people have got more money and there's less crime. But now there's going to be some more other kind of stuff that these people are going to be doing anyway. Some weird keeping up with the Joneses kind of stuff going on around here. There's going to be something that's going to grieve you. You might end up around rainbow people. You might end up around jealous and envious Edomites that don't think that you should be allowed to live in that area. You're going to end up around something that's going to bother you. You're going to end up around you might end up being a target for thieves now. People that are jealous of you having that money. And that's why there's not really nothing that you can escape from in this world. So it's almost better, which I'm going to get the scripture in a minute, give me a second. It shall destroy you even with a sword destruction. And this society will destroy you with a sword destruction. But let me get this scripture, right? Because it's better to not even have a lot of money in this world anyway. It's better to just, which Yahweh, naturally, it seems to me anyway, keeps us around that daily bread portion. And as our wants, as our needs increase, that daily bread portion is going to become more. And as our wants decrease, that daily bread portion is going to be less. When it comes time where all hell breaks loose, the daily bread that we're going to be wanting is not going to be the ability to pay bills and stuff like that, which that's another thing that we can all look forward in the kingdom, to not have to worry about that. People are going to be paying bills towards us. We ain't going to be paying bills. People are going to be paying us. And most of that bills thing comes by people not even owning property anyway. So they ain't even, let me not even say it like bills, they're going to be paying tribute. Proverbs chapter 13 verse, and people might say, nah, they ain't. People do it to Esau right now. So why won't they do it to us one day? Esau's whole society and everything that he's built up is going to be destroyed through World War III. They're going to destroy their own self. All this pride and hatred that they're showing to the children of Israel now, where they're talking about black fatigue and all of that, right? That's going to lead to Jacob's trouble. People are going to end up unalive because of this hatred that's going on right now. And it has to happen. It has to. And it's surprising to me that even Eve is starting to get charged up because of this whole black fatigue stuff, and she's starting to bun out the Edomite woman. She's starting to start charging up a bit, man, which is a shock to me. It's a shock to me. Verse 7, 2 things have I required of thee, deny me them not before I die. Remove far from me vanity and lies. And that's what we don't care about, man. We don't want to be all up in the mix of this world, really, man. Right? Brothers might still go here and there. They might go somewhere with their woman or something like that. But even when they're there, they're kind of like, they'll enjoy the food maybe, but they'll be looking at the people around and be like, man, this place would have been better if there was nobody else in here apart from the people making me my food. That's the kingly way to eat, man. To go to a beautiful place and have it private. Cause I don't know, maybe other people out there might be more extrovert, man, but I'm not. But then in the kingdom, that might change, man. In the kingdom, we might want to go and be around more people. But right now, as far as this society goes, that's not what it is. And I've heard Apostle Gabar say the exact word, a misanthrope, right? Where you don't really like being around people, or where you don't really like people very much. But that's because these people are evil, and we know this, right? Now, we won't say that we're righteous ourselves, but we understand the corruption that's around us and within us. And are hoping for that day when Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai cleanses us from all our uncleanness and makes us righteous, so that we don't ever do anything wrong again, so that we don't ever have to have no regrets for anything that we've are doing or have done, because we're going to be forgiven for it all, and Yahweh's not going to remember it no more neither. Whereas in this world, if you do something wrong to somebody, they might forgive you, but they're going to remember it though, and then when you get them angry, they're going to bring it back up again. And even some of us have been guilty of doing that too, because it's hard to forgive and forget something. People say all that. They say all that. We listen, but we don't judge. We listen, but we don't judge. Yeah, right. That's not real. That's not real. All them women that be telling all their fuck stories, their 304 tales from the crypt. The moment they get into an argument with their friends are going to be baiting it out. The moment that there's a man around that they all like, that woman's going to try and dirty Mac and tell that man about her dirty escapades to try and lower her standing in his eyes. So let's not combine that. We listen, but we don't judge. That's not real. Verse 8, remove far from me vanity and lies. Give me neither poverty nor riches. Feed me with food convenient for me, lest I be full and deny thee and say, who is Yahweh? Or lest I be full and steal and take the name of my power in vain. And that's what would happen. If you're poor in this world, eventually you're going to do something, man. You would. I don't care what no one wants to try and say. The scriptures say otherwise. So if you think, oh, if I was poor, I wouldn't end up stealing. No, you would. You would end up stealing. If you was poor enough and hungry enough, you're going to end up stealing. If you've got people that you need that rely on you and you don't have no other way of getting money, you ain't going to watch them starve. And neither would you watch yourself starve, neither. You're going to end up doing a crime. And that's why it's hilarious to me when you have all these Edomites talking down on all these benefits, this and benefits that. Because if it really went down to the wire, those people not having any money, they're going to be showing up to where you're at. They're going to show up to where you are, and they're going to be taking you out of your house then. Like how it was in the Batman, The Dark Knight, where they dashed all them rich people out of their houses, man, and made them live on the damn street. People will never just starve to death. That will never happen. That would never happen. Once people get backed into a corner far enough, eventually there's nothing but to do but fight out of the corner. There comes a point where there's nothing to do but fight out of the corner, man. And that's why, let's go to this, right? All of this Jacob's trouble that's coming, right? Which is going to have to happen, right? And it's going to scare the life out of you Israelites that wasn't expecting this, right? It's going to scare the life out of all you Israelites that was like, the Edomites should be able to say, so-called white people should be able to say what they want to say. They're going to say what they want to say. And the time's going to come where they're going to do what they want to do. And they're going to be doing it to you people that was telling them that they can say what they want to say. Thinking that because you're agreeing with them, that means that they like you as well. They don't like us because we're the Israelites. It's not that whole black thing that they've tried to claim. That's nothing to do with anything. That's got nothing to do with this. We're not black. It's a spiritual reason why they hate us. And the time's gonna come where the word's gonna go out and they're gonna know the actual real reason. According to the Bible, they're gonna be like, what? These people stole our birthright. Man, fuck them. It's gonna get to real like that, man. And I heard an elder one at a time say he had a dream like that, man. I heard one of the elders one of the times, he said he had a dream like that. He said that there was an Edomite and he would just looked at him with distraught in his face and was like, I'll fight you. But he said something like along the lines like, I'll fight you for the birthright or something like that. I think it was the elder from... See, I don't want to say which elder it was, just in case it wasn't, man. But the story, I remember this, I'll say the story that I remember hearing him say that he had in the vision, right? And it was that there was an Edomite that was pretty much like just looking at him with like distraught, like he had nothing else and he wanted to fight him for the birthright. He was like, I know you're an Israelite and I know I'm an Edomite, but I'll fight you. Just fight me fair and square, and whoever wins gets the birthright or whatever. And then he just, the elder said that in the dream, he just started punching up the Edomite, man. Started punching him up. Because it wouldn't even matter if you Edomites was to win a fight. You can't fight us for the birthright. That fight was lost before Jacob and Esau was even born, mate. Jeremiah chapter 13, verse 6. Ask ye now and see whether a man doth travail with child. Wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness? Well, one of the reasons why is because these Edomites are going to be getting charged up. All these heathen nations as well. They're trying to keep silent regarding all of the hatred that Israelites are receiving right now. And it's mad how much people like to try and talk about the so-called black man in this world, you know, because wasn't it a thing where people was trying to go on like everyone that wears a hijab is a T, you know what I mean, and that everyone that worships that ALLAH is a T. But here it is, we're the biggest problem in the world, and then these people like freedom of speech, but I can't even say who I'm talking about properly. I have to say small hat. So you don't really want freedom of speech. You don't really want freedom of speech, man. You just want to be able to call us the N-word and nothing happens. That's what you really want to do. If these people was to be able to tell the truth, what they really want to do is have us back in fields, picking cotton. Yeah, they want to have a plantation and have us working on there for free. And they want to be able to have money from us not working. I mean, from us like not being paid for work anymore. And that's why they're so against the whole reparation thing, is because they know that their society was based around this. And if they did have to pay it back for what they did wrong, and people can say, oh, you never went through it. Listen, man, our nation is very far behind right now because of what happened to our ancestors. We're very far behind. And that's the reason why we can't hand out people jobs and they can. Because our nation is far behind. Now, do some black people have a company? Yeah, but they don't have the actual raw resources in pretty much any industry in this world. They don't even have an agency for basketball players and anything like that. Here it is, we're the basketball players, we're the sports talent. And we don't even have like an agency that they're like, okay, you want a league, you want some basketball players, yeah, to try and promote your sports. All right, well, we've got 5,000 trained athletes right here, yeah, and you can have them, you can rent them. You can't have them, you can rent them, and then they're gonna play whatever sport you want them to play, right? And then you have got to give them this amount of money a week, and yeah, it costs extra if you want them to promote whatever brand you've got. So you wanted to promote Nikes, okay, well that's an extra 2 million a week. Yeah, that's an extra 2 million a week just for them to play your sport and get people in the seats. That's a 1 million. We ain't even got that. As much physical athletes we got, we ain't even got no own standing Israelite army. We ain't even got that. And I'm not saying that on this side that we should have it, because the army of the Lord right now is spiritual first. And that's what it goes into in the book of Ezekiel. After the children of Israel, in the book of Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, are boosted up with the word of the Lord. It says, and behold, I saw an army, right? The army's fishers first, then hunters, right? And all face, verse 6, the last part, and all faces are turned into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so there is none like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. Right? Jacob's trouble is going to back the children of Israel into a corner to the point where there's going to be no choice but to fight back. There's going to be no choice. There's going to be no choice for it to fight back, but for us to fight back, man. So lucky at 1 second. Yeah, there's going to be no choice but for the children of Israel to fight out of that corner that they're going to be backed into, man. There's going to be no choice. No person is ever going to just allow you to just stamp all over them and not fight back eventually. Even a dog ain't going to do that. A cat ain't going to do that. Even a kitten ain't going to do that, man. If somebody just keeps poking and prodding a kitten, a dog, any animal, eventually it's going to run and fight out of that corner, man. A rat will fight out of a corner too if you back it into a corner too, man. He will charge at you. Once you leave it, no choice. How much more, right? How much more the Lion of the tribe of Judah? Let me get this. Man. Genesis chapter 49 and verse 9. Judah is a lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stooped down. He couched as a lion, and as an old lion, who shall rouse him up? But he's gonna be roused up though. It's gonna be Esau that's gonna rouse him up, man. Esau is gonna rouse him up. The word of Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai in its true form is gonna rouse them up, and they're gonna be the ones that are gonna get it shaken out here, man. Through Esau, keep coming at them. Esau's not going to give up, not going to stop. And the thing is, he actually really thinks, right, that he's got the upper hand right now. Now, let's not be ignorant. Jacob's trouble is definitely going to cause for a lot of the children of Israel to be cold, right? But it's going to cause for a lot of the nation of Esau to be going through that as well. A lot of them. They ain't just going to be, no one's able to just walk through Jake. That don't happen. No one's ever been able to just walk through an Israelite and just dust them off real quick without no pushback. That don't happen in combat sports. It don't happen in sports in general. It don't happen. And you might see how I give some of these Israelites that ain't even of the elect some form of physical spiritual power, man. He might give them the ability to start actually aiming right. You know what I mean? He might be like, nah, don't hold it sideways, my son. Hold it this way. And they'll be like, oh shit, it actually works better when you hold it this way. You might see them start jumping, doing them dreadlock drillers and that. Start moving like superheroes out here, man. Start moving like the ancient mighty men of old. He's going to go, like Esau really thinks that he's just going to walk through our nation. Mate, that's never happened. It didn't happen in the time of the Maccabees. Yahweh's on our side. They ain't just going to walk through our nation. That's not going to happen. But they think it is. And that's the thing that I've always noticed with these Edomites. They run their mouth the most. But the moment things start to get taken to that other side, a lot of them can't hang unless they have a sword that unfairly balances the playing field, man. But on an equal playing field, they rarely win. So how much more when Yahweh makes it an unequal playing field in our favor and gives us that spiritual power to be able to do things that are not normal? How much more? Israelites already do things that are not normal right now. So how much more in that time, man? Isaiah chapter 59 and verse 19, so they shall fear the name of Yahweh from the west and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. There's going to be a reverse reaction to what he's going to do, man. There's going to be a balance. Oh, you're doing this? Okay, well then the children of Israel are going to do this. Okay, you're doing that? Well then the children of Israel are going to do that. Okay, you want it to go this way? Okay, well the children of Israel are going to have to do this then, because I'm not going to allow them to become extinct, because you've got a grievance. And it's going to be more and more revealed, the hypocrisy of these Edomites, because then what if, like, there's some of the things that they're doing right now, right? That they're saying, oh, this woman called a 5-year-old the N-word, which it wasn't even an Israelite child, I believe, that she said it to, right? It was some Cushite or something, but they don't care. They don't know anything about that. They don't need an excuse to hate us. They've been looking for a fake reason to try and get charged up, but they don't need a reason anyway. They've never needed a reason. It's never been about, oh, you're Pookie and Ray Ray and all this, why they don't hate us, because what about when there wasn't no such thing as no Pookie and Ray Ray? What about when we was all wearing slacks and suits and ties and fedora hats? They hated us then. Before there was even any do-rag and all that we was wearing, man. They didn't like us then. They didn't like us then. They didn't like us when we got the birthright. They've never had a need, or they didn't like us when we just came out of captivity in Egypt and said, all we're going to do is walk through the land, and if we eat anything, we'll pay for what we eat. They didn't like us then. They've never liked us. So all this trying to, oh, it's because of this, and no, it's because we're the Israelites, man. You've never had any reason to hate us, but you've just always hated us because you're demons. You're just demons, man. And it's going to get to where when they see an Israelite do the same exact thing that Dave did, they're not going to see the hypocrisy of what they've said. They're going to be like, oh, nah, forget it. Because if an Edomite child that was 5 went into an Israelite woman's bag and took something out now even, and she said, yo, watch out, you damn Edomite, they'd have a problem with that. Or she said, yo, get off my bag, cracker. Get out of my bag, cracker. They'd be like, oh, how are you going to say that to a 5-year-old? You know what I mean? But when it's the other way around, they're hypocrites. When 5 years old is young. 5 years old is young, man. Especially when the child's got something wrong with them. So they might go and do things and touch things that they don't know that they're not supposed to be touching. They might do that. Let's not make it like you Edomite 5-year, you Edomites 5-year-olds are some righteous things, because they're demons. Biting their teachers, dislocating their finger. The things that I hear about you Edomites that are young doing are ridiculous. Biting your teachers, biting other students, right? Dislocating your finger, banging your head off radiators. So don't try and make out like y'all are so righteous. Y'all ain't shit. Y'all ain't nothing. All this stuff about Edomites being so high IQ and all that. Listen, man. I've heard inside scoops from certain things and that. I know that y'all are not what y'all say you are. From the youngest age, mate. Y'all are weirdos. Y'all are weird as hell, man. And it's only because of this society that you've been able to make. Off the backs of all these other nations in the world, by the way. You didn't make it alone. You made it off the backs of everyone else. You're able to think that you are smart. But as you're starting to try and think you can try and be independent, you're realizing that your society is falling. You're trying to be like, oh, we don't want China to do this and do that. We don't like that. Your society is falling. You're losing money. When England tried to do that Brexit thing, oh, we can do our thing on our own. That's actually not helped the country. It's made it worse. It's made them worse off. And some of the people was voting for Brexit because of places like Pakistan. And I'm thinking, hang on, that country's not even in Europe, mate. What are you talking about? That's in Asia, dummy. But I thought they were high IQ though. I'm voting Brexit because I'm tired of being in my local Tesco's and I see an Indian man in there. Well, Brexit's not going to help that, mate. That Indian man is still going to be working there, geezer. I'm just tired of a lot of them. They should go back to Africa. Well, Indian people ain't from Africa, mate. They're from India, mate, which is in Asia. Ah, bollocks to them, yeah? Like, you Edomites are dumb. You think you're intelligent, but you're actually not. And the proof is going to be, you're going to be the only thing the one that gets destroyed. It's going to be you that gets that. Jacob, and I've been saying this on the last couple of videos that I've did, Jacob's trouble, right? All the things that's going to be done in Jacob's trouble, right, are going to make all the nation of Israel be like, man, I don't care about this scripture right here. I want this to happen. Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh has spoken it. What's going to happen in Jacob's trouble is going to make the Israelites realize, man, nah, man. I don't believe John 3:16 means what they say anymore. I believe it the way the Israelites say it. It's going to make them all start to realize that, listen, man, the things that the Israelites have been saying are true. And there was recently a video that one of the elders put up where there was an Israelite that was a Jake that was scoffing the word, and then now he said basically, man, I've had to unharden my heart, and now I understand that what them Israelites were saying is true. And as things start really going on more and more, all of you people out there, all you Jakes are going to start realizing that these people are not white. They're the Edomites. And the reason why they hate you so much is because you're an Israelite. You're going to know it. Because the things that they say about you, oh, this and that, listen, man, other people do some of the same stuff that they say we do, and they don't have a problem. 5-year-old Edomite children steal things from other 5-year-old, from other little young children. They do that, and they don't call them the same word that they'd call us. Because we can just be walking down the street, and they'll call us that word. We can be minding our business in our own neighborhood, and they'll call us that word. They don't need an excuse, but they look for one to try and justify themselves. But when there isn't one, then they still try and find a way anyway. If there's no Israelites anywhere doing anything to disturb Esau, right? If every single Israelite just got beamed up in the chariots right now, and no Edomite was able to find where we are, they wouldn't be happy with that, you know. They wouldn't be comfortable until they found out where we are. And when if they didn't know, they'd start to get stressed out, man. Because they'd want to be able to find where we are to try and bother us. Because then all the excuses for why they ain't shit would go out the window. They wouldn't be able to blame us no more for why they ain't got this and they ain't got that. But right now, they can try and blame us for why they ain't successful in the world, for why they ain't got this. They can try and make it like some Israelites running down on their ops is somehow affecting their neighborhood when they don't live around no Israelites anyway. And they only ever hear about them things on the news. Because I ain't even seen those things. I ain't even really seen no Jakes run down another Jake and start trying to spy on some chefing and all that. I ain't seen that, really. So how the hell have they why the hell are they trying to make it like they see that? Ezekiel chapter 25 and verse 14, and I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith Yahweh. When it all goes down, man, and after Jacob's trouble, every single Israelite is going to be like, man, yeah, they deserve this. They're not going to be sad by this, because they're going to see Edomites do all kind of things. They're going to see Edomites unalive granny, unalive grandpops, unalive father, unalive mother, unalive young son, unalive young daughter, unalive woman with baby in the womb. They're going to see all kind of stuff, man. They're going to see Esau lynch again. They're going to see them doing a whole, but they're going to see them chop Jake down with laser beams. They're going to see all kind of madness, man. Some of them might see it, either might eat someone. They're going to see them do all kind of stuff that they've done before in the past, and new things that they ain't never done before in the time of Jacob's trouble. And it's not going to be because a 5-year-old went into a bag or nothing like that. It's going to be because they hate us, and they always have. And they're gonna realize that if the society was to be fair as they claim it is, and that we really had all of these so-called advantages to be able to do this and be able to do that, that we're better than them. And the more this society does become somewhat equal, we're better than them. And they had to have it unequal for them to think that they're better than us. And as the society starts truly becoming to where everyone does have freedom of speech to say whatever they want to say, well then, okay, we're going to talk about how you're the Edomites. But haven't you came up with a thing called critical race theory? But I thought it was about freedom of speech, though. If you're really about freedom of speech, what's all this critical race theory stuff then? And about how, they're trying to make us feel bad about history. They've got the right to under freedom of speech, don't they? How comes we have to say micro C-hip instead of the actual word we want to say? How comes we have to say MOTB instead of what we want to say if you're really about freedom of speech? It's you Edomites, it's you so-called white people that control freedom of speech, isn't it? In this society, you're the ones that have the ability to try and cancel this and cancel that. So if it's really about freedom of speech, how comes you ain't really rocking with it then? You ain't really rocking with it. You say you are, but you're not really though, are you? You're just fronting. And I will lay vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith Yahweh, and they're gonna know. We ain't gonna judge none of you Edomites based on what we think the judgment is, because we don't even know we don't even know yet true judgment, man. Yahweh knows though. And he's gonna come up with a equally double portion balance of judgment for every single thing that each and every single one of you Edomites have did. Isaiah chapter 14 and verse 1, for the Lord Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land, and the stranger shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. It's going to get to the point where you Edomites are going to be ruled over by the same people that you once ruled over. And that's going to be you're going to be scared every single second of your life because of that. You're going to be scared every single second, every single minute, because you're going to know that everything that's happening to you, you deserve because you once oppressed them people. And all of the ones of you that want to say, oh, I never did anything this, I never did that, that was my forefathers. Okay, what about what you did during Jacob's trouble? What about that? What about what you was doing to us in Jacob's trouble that's going to be done, that you're going to do? What about that part? What about when you're going to start bearing false witness on Israelites to try and make it like they was, oh, I seen it all, officer. He started it. He started it knowing damn well that the Edomite that you're trying to defend actually started it. But you're just trying to get them locked up because you hate them. What about that you're going to do? What about that you've already done? You Edomites are going to pay for all the things that you've did in all of your different lifetimes, man. And all the things you're going to do in Jacob's trouble. And all the things that you've did already since your time on the earth, because you're wicked. Even the things that we don't know what you've did something. You've all did something, man. Even you claiming that you're a Christian, you've did something, you're guilty. Even you claiming that you're spiritually Israel, you're guilty for that because you ain't an Israelite. Spiritually or any other way. Even in you believing that the name of the Lord is Jesus, you've going off. Because that's not his name. Even you believing that he looks like a so-called white man, that's going off because he don't. And then when you reject what he actually looks like, talking about I don't see color, well, if all you Edomites don't see color all the time, right? How comes you know exactly who to try and call an N-word? How comes you don't accidentally call any so-called white people N-words? Because it's a word that you've specifically used on so-called black people. How comes you don't accidentally call a so-called white man that word with hatred in your heart? If you don't see color. Exactly. It's real interesting and convenient where you devils do things, man. Verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear and from thy hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve. What they'll say, oh, you ain't in no captivity. You ain't ever been no slave. Yeah, that's what you say. You can't tell us none of that. And you can't tell us to not be grieved at what our ancestors went through too. Because when you're trying to walk around trying to say, do you want to buy a poppy? Do you want a poppy and all that? You never fought in World War. You never fought in no war yourself. Just shut your mouth then. People always complain about things that they never went through in this world. That are things that other people went through. When the hell of it being a thing where you're not supposed to be grieved at somebody that you care about going through something bad? If somebody that you know gets a terminal disease, you might cry. But what should you say to that person? Why are you crying for? You ain't got the terminal disease. You're all right. You ain't gonna die. from that disease. So you stop crying, or do people cry and accept that that person can feel pain for it? But this world trying to tell us that we can't even feel pain for what our ancestors went through, when our ancestors look like us. But then when it comes to the small hats and they want to look at videos of the hollow thing and that, then they're able to mourn and be sorrowful though, ain't they? And nobody tells them, what you mourning for? You ain't never been through this. They don't ever try and come with it that way. People understand an inheritance, but then they don't understand the concept of reparations. An inheritance comes from you receiving money from an ancestor of yours work. Reparations would work the same way, but the real reparations is going to be us owning the same nation that had us in captivity. Not know, oh, we're going to give you £1 million, and then after that we're even Stevens. Nah, we still wouldn't be even after that anyway. We still wouldn't. Now, if they offered every single Jake that, you think we ain't going to take no money? We'll take it. We're still going to have hatred in our heart towards you, though. We ain't going to be even. We ain't never going to be even. You know what's going to make it even? Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18. That's what's going to really make us be like, okay, now we're cool, man. We're cool. I forgive you. Do you know what I mean? I'll forgive you, Edomites, yeah. When Obadiah chapter 1 and verse 18 has been fulfilled, then I'll forgive you, man. And I'll forgive it, and I'll forget about you. But for now, nah, I'm not letting that leave my mind, man. I'm angry about that. I don't want to hear none of that. It was my ancestors and all that, and I ain't never been this and I ain't never been that. Listen, man, I ain't trying to hear that. Because if something happened to any of you people out there, any of you so-called white people out there, wife or daughter, you would be angry about it. And you wouldn't accept nobody saying to you, you didn't go through that, so don't be angry. You wouldn't accept that. You never accept that. When it came to that 911 thing, yeah, none of you Edomites that didn't have a relative that died in that time would accept anybody saying to you, oh, what are you complaining about, man? No one that you know died in that time. So what's your problem? You never went through it. You would say, oh, but it was my country that they did it to. Oh, it was my country, and I'm an American. Okay, it was our people. Because 400 years from now, if you Edomites were still to have a kingdom, you know that you Edomites would still be talking about that hollow thing. You know you'd be allowing them small hats to try and talk about that. You wouldn't say to them, oh, get over it. You wouldn't say it to them. But you try and say to us, oh, get over it. It was hundreds of years ago. But there's going to come a time where that thing was hundreds of years ago and you won't be saying it to them. You won't be saying to them, oh, you don't talk about that because there's nobody alive from that time anymore. You won't say that. Because there's nobody alive from the time of ancient Rome. But you devils still talk about Rome, don't you? But there's nobody alive from that time no more. There's nobody alive. Let's take it even further. There's nobody alive right now from the time, well, apart from Yahweh Shai, that is, from alive right now from the time of the Bible. But we still talk about Yahweh Shai. We still talk about Yahweh Shai's death. So why can't we talk about the deaths of the children of Israel that died 400 years ago? Why can't we? But you people are hypocrites, man. You Edomites try and complain about Israelites that betrayed Yahweh Shai, right? He forgave them. So why are you talking about it for? He said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. So why are you still trying to say how Israelites are wicked? You never died for their sins. So why are you talking? But you ain't going to accept that though, are you? You don't want to accept that though, right? But you want to talk about Israelites that betrayed the Messiah 2,000 years ago. But then you don't think that your crimes that you've did 400 years ago can be talked about. But you're trying to say that the whole of the nation of Israel, right, are not forgiven now because some Israelites betrayed the Messiah. Because some did, not all, some. But then you don't want to have anyone talk about the things that your ancestors did, but you want to talk about what the Israelites' ancestors did as to the reason why they can't receive salvation now. So you're hypocrites, man. You want to say, oh, so-called white people, their ancestors did that, so they ain't to blame. Okay, so-called Israelite, well, the children of Israel, their ancestors betrayed the Messiah, some of their ancestors. So they ain't to blame for why Israelites are not going to receive salvation now. Because they believe. But you Edomites don't want to say that though, do you? Because you're dumb. And when your own talking points get pointed back to your face, you realize, man, this don't make sense, and you just run away. Because you're cowards, man. And from thy hard bondage I was made to serve, verse 4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how have the oppressors ceased, the golden city ceased? So all of this hatred that you Edomites have in your heart is going to lead you into going into captivity. And we can give you the advice, the perfect advice, and you're still not going to listen because of your pride. We can say to you, do not go through with your idea to make everyone in the world have a micro C hit, because that is going to be the thing that's going to decide who is and who is not of the elected nation of Israel. Once on earth, it is clearly shown who is and who is not of the nation of Israel and who is not of the elected nation of Israel through that charagma. Then the other things in prophecy are going to start taking place, and then other nations are going to start getting charged up more and more, which both things are going to coincide at the similar times anyway to cause for it to happen. But let me go through the scriptures and show why I'm saying that, man. Right, let me go. Revelation chapter 16 and verse 1, and I heard a great voice out of the temple saying to the seven angels, go your way and pour out the vials of God's wrath upon the earth. And the first went and poured his vial upon the earth, and there fell a noisome and grievous sore upon the men that had the Motb, and upon them which worship his image. So once that Motb gets made mandatory, these vials of wrath are going to start getting poured on the earth, man. Things are going to start happening real fast to shake this Edomite society down. And it don't matter which earthly way that it takes place for these things to happen. The vials are going to start getting poured upon the earth, and they're going to make things happen in the earthly realm. But the judgment's going to start first in the spiritual realm. And it's going to cause for things on earth to start getting shaken up. One thing that's going to happen is people are going to start getting boils and grievous sores on their body because they took the Motb. And that's going to be one of the things that's going to show, okay, we're in the time of Yahweh starting to put his wrath vials on the earth, man. Because people that have took the Motb are going to start having a physical thing to show that they've took that. And I've heard Apostle Tahar say on many occasions, once that Motb gets made mandatory, things are going to speed up fast. And I'm guessing that this is one of the reasons why he says it, because of this chapter here. But I just wanted to point out that particular point, that when the Motb gets made mandatory and people have actually started taking it, a lot of things are going to start going on down here, man. A lot of things are going to start taking place on this earth. Loads of things. And it's going to end up going into where this place gets destroyed, man. Babylon the Great. But all over the earth, things are going to be happening. And we can tell these Edomites, don't go through your plan to do that. But the thing is, on the left-hand side, the spirits and everything that they're trying to work requires the Motb to actually, for them to actually fulfill the type of society that they want to have. But then on the right-hand side, the Motb prophecy is also necessary. So their arrogance is making them think, well, the Motb thing that we're doing is not because of what Yahweh said. It's because of what we want to do. And once we do this, the society, everything's going to start going our way. No, once they do that, everything's going to start, which is already has been anyway, but everything's going to start going Yahweh's way. But they're thinking in their mind that when they do this, that it's going to start furthering what they plan. But it's not going to, though. And them boils and them grievous sores are going to show that that's the case. We're going to just start seeing people as people that hopefully have not took that. We're going to start seeing on their hands. We're going to start seeing these people wearing gloves and all kind of stuff, man. Yo, why you wearing gloves like Cisco for? Yo, why you wearing gloves like Michael Jackson? Oh, my hands are cold. Yeah, right, man. Show me your palms. Show me your hands, man. And they're going to take them gloves and you're going, oh, man. That's what's going to be happening. These people are going to have marks on them to show that they took the mark. They're going to have swords on them to show that they took the mark. Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16, and the cause of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a charagma in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the charagma, or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Now they think that they're doing this because, oh, we need to be able to track every penny that people spend because this is how we're going to control them. But they're really doing it because that's going to be what Yahweh is going to use to divide the non-elect and the elect. And that's also what Yahweh is going to use just to hit people with them grievous sores and boils. They're not going to be able to get the grievous sore and boil all in one go if they don't take the Motb. But by them taking it, that's how Yahweh is going to get them. Yahweh is going to give them that grievous sore and that boil through them taking it. And then several other things are going to start taking place on this earth as well because of that, man. These people are going to start getting jacked up. But they're thinking in their arrogance that we're just going to wipe the floor with these Israelites. We're going to come up with a few false witnesses. We're going to make it like, oh, we didn't know. Oh, I didn't know that he was an African American. I thought he was an immigrant. But they all look the same to me. And they're going to try and deport, do this and do that. They're going to try and do a lot of things down here. I saw the elder over here in the UK, Elder Ramar. He did a video about whether he thinks Farage is going to be put in, and I personally think he will. I personally think yes, he will be made to be the Prime Minister of the UK. I personally think he will. But we saw what Trump being in charge did. He's just further destroyed that country. And the same thing, in my opinion, will happen if they bring in somebody like that. It's just going to allow these chavs and National Front Party mans and all that, you know what I mean, these football hooligan mans to try and get charged up and try and rush people and all this. It's going to allow them to do that, but it's not going to lead to no better lifestyle for them. It's not going to really lead to that. This is the Esau society's done, man. And part of them thinking that they're building a new society is going to be the Motb cashless system that they're trying to set up, right? The transhumanism cashless Motb system that they're trying to make, where they can monitor everything that everyone does, monitor everyone's steps, track people with damn near unlimited cameras, and force people to be good citizens through the threat of being disconnected from the society that they've made that's technological, right? And works through AI, through computer systems. That's what they want to try and do, and they're going to build it up. But Yahweh's going to destroy it, though. Yahweh is going to destroy that society. Let's get this. Let's get this, man. Revelation chapter 19 and verse 20. And the beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the charagma of the beast. Because a lot of the things that people are going to be able to do through taking the charagma, right? Oh, I can just buy things by scanning my hand. Wow, it's amazing. I mean, I just went into the store, picked up all my items. I didn't even have to go to the till anymore. We don't even have to go to the till anymore. It's great, mate. It's so efficient. And they're going to think that that's some kind of miracle. Oh, wow. Man, I didn't even know I was sick. But when I had that Motb in, it told me that I had this. And then it's just I just had to went to the doctor again, and then they gave me this extra addition thing, and then now it just secretes this amount of glycerol in me, and then I'm all right. Like, I never felt better, mate. I'm picture of health. They're gonna think that these are some of the things that they're gonna be doing, man. Oh, I couldn't walk before, but after they put this Motb in my head, now I can walk. It's not the best gait, but it's still better than being in a wheelchair. I've never been able to do a backflip before, but now I can do 2 backflips in a row. You want to see? They're going to be able to do a whole bunch of stuff, man. It's going to be, there might be some Edomite that was like, get out, run, man. Some Edomite that couldn't walk before, and he just gets an Motb in his head and starts running like that Big Jake from Get Out, man, the gardener, and does that quick, fast 90-degree turn. Which he deceived them that had received the charagma of the beast, and that worship his image. These both are cast alive into a lake of fire burning with brimstone, and that's what it's gonna take. If you take the Motb, you've been deceived, but it's not. It's not for your benefit to take that. It appears as though it is. It's going to appear as though it is initially, but if it was, they wouldn't have to deceive you to take it. We right now would not have to be deceived into being brought under the new covenant. I'd want nothing more than to be filled with perfect righteousness and be able to just be blessed from the Lord on high. All the things that we talk about in these videos when we speak about the kingdom, we'd have access to them through the new covenant. Multiple wives, yep, you got it. Unlimited resources, you got it. Guavas and mangoes, you know what I mean? Roast lamb, that brothers be saying, roast lamb, you know what I mean? Sipping pina colada, mojitos, grapes bigger than our hand, grapes bigger than our head, grapes bigger than a damn 32-inch TV, one grape, you know what I mean? Yayan and all that brothers be talking about, elders and that. Some men right now on this earth might be honored with being able to drink and sip wine with Yahweh Shai when he starts drinking wine again. Because he hasn't drank wine for 2,000, if we're to believe the year that as what it is, Yahweh Shai hasn't drank wine for 2025 of our years, which according to his timing and Yahweh's timing would be like 2 days. But he hasn't drank no wine. But there might be some men on this earth that when Yahweh Shai finally drinks wine again for the very first time, that they are actually invited to drink with him. You know what I mean? There might actually be. Now, imagine that. I ain't saying I'd be one of them, but there might be some men down there, even if it's just one, that might be given such a blessing. We know that he's going to do it with his disciples, but maybe there's going to be some other men as well that he's going to do that with, man. Who knows, man? But even to be able to drink it with him the second time, third, ever, to be able to ever sit and drink wine with Yahweh Shai would be a blessing, man. But all the hopes and dreams of these things first begins through being under the new covenant, man. That's what we need first. The new covenant. But before that, we have to go through this Motb thing, man. We have to refuse that. We have to refuse it, man. And it doesn't matter what way you have to go through to not take that. Whatever it is that you can think of to try and stop yourself from taking that. It makes sense to do it because that's your honor. That's your honor, man. And I'm going to end this video after I read Revelation 20 and 4 because I just thought about another video that I want to talk about. And I'll try and do a lesson, Lord will, directly after this one. And then I'll upload both of them afterwards or whatever. Revelation chapter 20 and verse 4, and I saw thrones and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them, and I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh Shai, and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither have received his charagma upon their foreheads or in their hands, and they lived and reigned with a Mashiach 1,000 years. So the elect are going to reject it, right? Many people are going to take it, but the elect of the nation of Israel are going to refuse. But the Motb is a very necessary thing in order to bring forth what has to happen next. But once the Motb gets made mandatory, that's going to lead to a lot of fast destruction of this society, right? And that's why it's spiritual, because we can literally tell Esau that you doing that is going to be the start to bring your society down fast. And they won't listen. We can tell them, don't go through World War. And the thing is, they're trying to not do it. Trump was actually saying to Zelensky, you're playing around with World War III. You're playing around with World War III because it's something that they're scared of. They are scared of World War III. But here's the thing: trying to bring the Motb and trying to do this whole cashless society thing. That's playing around with World War III as well. Because the cashless society, the stable coin, the Bitcoin, the crypto, all of these things are going to lead to them being like, okay, well, this fits in with the Motb. This can further bring a use for the Motb that we're trying to push. And it's going to lead to World War III anyway. Everything that they're doing is leading to World War III. Tariffs is leading to World War III. Saying make America great again is leading to World War III. Being evil towards us and trying to scapegoat us for all the world's problems is leading to World War III. It's all leading to World War III. You Edomites putting us in the Atlantic slave trade, that was leading to World War III. That was leading to your destruction, because that allowed us to be in the place that's spiritually called Egypt and Sodom. Before that, we wasn't over in that place that was spiritually called Edom and Sodom. But you putting us in the Atlantic slave trade led us to go over to that place that spiritually became Egypt, because it was a place that all the tribes of Israel got brought into captivity once again, because there'd never been a place that was like that before Egypt, really. Or before, like, since the split of the kingdom of Israel anyway. There was never a place where we was all captive together for that long of a duration again, and made to serve with hardcore vigor like that, right? And then it became Sodom because of all the wickedness that you Edomites do over there. So the Motb is going to lead, them pushing the Motb is going to lead to the fall of their own society, man. And it's going to be quick, just like lightning, man. I'm going to end the lesson there. Shalom to the nation of Israel. Shalom.